There are a total of 39 new talismans in Shadow of the Erdtree. A lot of them of course are just slightly improved versions of their base game predecessor, but there are a bunch of new ones with crazy new effects that can affect PvP in a significant way. I am going to be ranking 10 of these new talismans from worst to best, which is kinda hard because there are 4 separate talisman slots. Because of that, trying to rank them based on how useful and powerful they are will be a bit challenging. So just focus more on what I'm saying and the numbers break down more than just where I place them on the tier list. Now with that being said, let's just get into it. Starting us off, we have Rellana's Cameo, which boosts attack by 15% after holding a stance for 1.5 seconds. In PvP, holding a stance can act as a form of psychological warfare. Opponents may be unsure whether to engage or wait, potentially giving the player with the talisman an advantage. Players who are good at reading their opponents can use the talisman to punish people who will play overly aggressive. By holding a stance just out of reach, they can bait attacks and then counter with a boosted strike. However, holding a stance for 1.5 seconds could leave you vulnerable to attacks. This risk means that you would need to be confident in your ability to avoid or mitigate incoming damage during this period. The talisman's effectiveness is situational. In fast-paced encounters where mobility is crucial, finding the time to hold a stance might be challenging. Effectively using this talisman requires a high skill level, as players need to time their stances accurately and be aware of their surroundings to avoid taking damage. Overall, it's not that great, but it can have its uses. At number 9 we have the Shattered Stone Talisman. Now with all the new stomp attacks we have in the game, I can definitely see why this was added. Talisman is particularly useful against defensive players who rely heavily on blocking. Enhanced kicks can more effectively break their guard, forcing them to change tactics or just simply perish. A talisman that raises the potency of kicking and stomping skills by 10% is a useful tool for players who effectively incorporate these moves into their PvP strategy. It offers enhanced utility, particularly against defensive opponents and in situations where interrupting or staggering is crucial. Stomps have a generous AoE, and the Divine Beast Thrust Stomp literally covers 1 or 2 football fields. However, besides the fact that stomps are generally telegraphed, its overall impact might be limited due to situational nature of these skills and the modest increase in potency. For players who enjoy using kicks and stomps as part of their combat repertoire, this talisman could provide a noticeable advantage, but it might not be as broadly beneficial as other talismans that enhance primary offensive or defensive capabilities. Coming in at number 8 we have the Retaliatory Cross Tree. A 17% increase in damage for attacks executed after rolling, crouching or backstepping is significant. This boost can turn well-timed counterattacks into game changers, allowing you to deal substantial damage quickly. Rolling is fundamental to PvP combat for dodging and repositioning. Enhancing attacks after these movements aligns perfectly with a dynamic playstyle, rewarding players who use mobility to their advantage. This talisman is particularly effective against aggressive opponents. After dodging an attack, you can immediately counter with a boosted strike, punishing them for overextending. Almost all builds can benefit from this talisman since rolling is the universal defensive maneuver. Whether you're using a melee, ranged or hybrid build, this talisman's effect can be utilized. Focusing on rolling and backstepping to trigger the talisman's effect might create gaps in your defense if overused. Opponents might anticipate your movements and exploit them if you become predictable. While the talisman is versatile, certain builds might benefit more than others. For instance, melee builds that rely on close range combat will see more immediate benefits compared to ranged builds, which might not always be in position to counterattack right after dodging. Also, while crouch attacks see the light of day more often, rolling attacks will never be your primary source of damage, which puts this talisman lower on the list. At number 7 we have all the Drake Talismans and the Golden Braid. These talismans are particularly effective against opponents who rely on sorceries, incantations or elemental infused weapons. It helps mitigate the damage from these attacks, making it harder for such opponents to quickly eliminate you. Almost all builds can benefit from increased non-physical damage negation, as many PvP encounters involve some form of non-physical damage. Whether you're a melee fighter, a caster or a hybrid, reducing incoming non-physical damage can help you survive longer. Many players use weapons with elemental damage. This talisman helps negate a portion of that damage, making encounters with such opponents less dangerous. Nukes and one-shots are really common in invasions, and so burst damage can often decide the outcome of a duel. By reducing non-physical burst damage, this talisman helps you survive critical moments where a single high damage spell or elemental attack could otherwise defeat you. The talisman's effectiveness is dependent on the type of opponents you face. Against purely physical damage healers, it offers no benefit. Its value fluctuates based on the prevalence of non-physical damage in your PvP encounters. There are many other talismans that enhance offensive capabilities or physical defense. Depending on your playstyle and typical opponents, you might find those talismans more generally useful. While beneficial for many builds, it might be less critical for builds that already have high innate resistance to non-physical damage or those that rely on evasion and avoidance rather than on taking hits. At number 6 we have the Crimson Amber Medallion plus 3. The Crimson Amber Medallion directly increases your health pool, making you harder to kill. This can provide a crucial edge in PvP encounters where surviving an opponent's burst damage or combos is essential. Health is an universally beneficial stat, meaning the Crimson Amber Medallion can complement any build, whether you focus on melee, ranged or magic. It doesn't require you to change your playstyle or build to benefit from it. The increased health gives you more room for mistakes. In PvP, where a single misstep can be fatal, having extra health can allow you to recover from minor errors and stay in the fight longer. During invasion, the extra health can be particularly valuable as you face multiple opponents or encounter unexpected threats. The increased health pool can give you a better chance to adapt to chaotic situations. While extra health is always useful, in some PvP encounters, having increased damage output or specific resistances might be more beneficial. The Medallion provides a general benefit rather than a specialized one. The benefit of the Medallion scales with your overall health pool. For builds with already high health, the percentage increase might be more noticeable than for builds with lower base health. Equipping the Crimson Amber Medallion means foregoing another talisman spot. Depending on your build and playstyle, there might be other talismans that provide more specialized or powerful benefits, such as increased damage, stamina regeneration, or resistance to specific types of damage. At number 5 we have the Two-Handed Sword Talisman. A 15% boost in attack power is significant and can substantially increase your damage per hit. This can lead to faster kills and a greater ability to pressure opponents. Two-handing a weapon generally increases its damage and often changes the moveset to one that can be more aggressive or have better reach. The talisman enhances these inherent advantages, making two-handed combat even more formidable. This talisman can benefit a wide range of builds, from strength-focused characters wielding greatswords or colossal weapons to dexterity builds using katanas or curved swords. In PvP, trading hits with your opponent is common. With a 15% damage boost, your trades will be more favorable, allowing you to come out ahead even if both players are landing hits. Builds that already emphasize two-handing weapons will find this talisman particularly beneficial. Weapons like great swords, ultra great swords, and colossal weapons will hit even harder, playing into the strength of high burst damage. While the talisman provides a straightforward damage boost, its effectiveness is tied to always two-handing your weapon. If you frequently switch between one-handing and two-handing or use a shield, you might not get the full benefit. Coming in at number 4 we have the Twin-Headed Turtle Talisman. The primary benefit of Turtle Talisman is the faster regeneration of stamina. This allows for more frequent dodges, attacks, and blocks, giving you a significant advantage in prolonged engagements. With faster stamina recovery, you can maintain offensive pressure on your opponent more effectively. This can prevent them from finding openings to counterattack or heal. Faster stamina recovery means you can more consistently block or dodge attacks without running out of stamina. This improves your overall survivability in PvP encounters. All builds benefit from improved stamina recovery, whether you're using heavy weapons, magic, or quick successive strikes. This makes the Turtle Talisman a versatile choice. Weapons that consume a lot of stamina, such as great swords, ultra great swords, or dual-wielded weapons, will especially benefit from the Turtle Talisman, enabling more consistent heavy attacks. Even spellcasters can benefit, as stamina is used for dodging and, in some cases, casting certain spells. Improved recovery ensures that they can evade more effectively while maintaining their offensive capabilities. Unlike talismans that increase attack power or specific resistances, the Turtle Talisman provides an indirect benefit. Its effectiveness relies on how well you can leverage the increased stamina recovery in combat. At number 3 we have the Lacerating Cross Tree. Dash attacks are often used to surprise opponents and exploit openings. The enhanced damage can make these surprise attacks more punishing, potentially leading to quicker kills or forcing opponents into defensive positions. They are commonly used to initiate combat, allowing you to close the distance quickly and strike first. The talisman's damage boost makes these openings moves more effective, giving you an early advantage. For players who prefer hit and run tactics, this talisman boosts the effectiveness of their quick strikes. After landing a powerful dash attack, you can retreat and reposition, maintaining pressure without overcommitting. When chasing down fleeing opponents, dashing attacks are essential. The talisman enhances the damage dealt during these chases, making it harder for opponents to escape and heal. No wonder why I got nerfed for PvP, honestly. Dash attacks can be integrated into combos, especially with weapons that have quick follow-up attacks. The extra damage from the talisman can make these combos more lethal, increasing your chances of overwhelming your opponent. A 7.5% damage increase in PvP is modest compared to the 15% in PvE. While still beneficial, it might not be as impactful as other talismans that provide broader or more substantial boosts. One really great aspect of this talisman is its usefulness in roll catching. Most weapons' roll catches are tied to the running attack, making this the perfect helper for chasing people down and finishing them off. At number 2 we have the Modded Necklace. By raising robustness, immunity, and focus, the talisman increases your resistance to various status effects such as bleed, poison, scarlet rot, frostbite, and madness. This can be crucial in PvP, where these status effects are often used to debilitate and control opponents. The combined increase in robustness, immunity, and focus makes you more durable against a wider range of attacks and strategies. This makes it harder for opponents to exploit weaknesses in your defense. With higher resistance to status effects, you can maintain your combat effectiveness throughout the fight. You won't be as easily hindered by debuffs, allowing you to execute your strategies more reliably. This talisman is particularly effective against opponents who rely on status effects to win fights. Players using weapons or spells that inflict bleed, poison, scarlet rot, or frostbite will find it much harder to apply these effects, reducing their overall effectiveness. Many players in PvP expect their status effect strategies to work reliably. By equipping this talisman, you can catch them off guard with your heightened resistances, potentially leading to overcommitting on their part and and creating openings for you. The Talisman provides a well-rounded defense, not focusing on a single type of resistance but improving overall robustness, immunity, and focus. This balance can protect you from a wide array of threats and make you a more formidable opponent. With how prevalent and overpowered status effects are in PvP, this Talisman is a no-brainer that I run on almost every build. Finally, at number 1 we have the Crimson Seed Talisman. Undoubtedly, a 30% boost to HP restoration from the Flask of Crimson Tears is useful in every single scenario. It means that each use of the flask will heal significantly more health. This allows you to recover from damage more effectively and can extend your survivability in prolonged fights. The ability to heal more effectively can help you recover from near-death situations. This can turn the side of a battle if you can survive an opponent's burst damage and quickly heal a substantial amount of HP. With more HP restored per flask use, you can make each flask charge count more. This can be particularly advantageous in PvP scenarios where the number of flask uses is limited. Really, there is no situation which doesn't allow for the usage of this Talisman. Enhanced healing can provide more strategic options. You can choose to heal at moments that maximize your advantage, knowing that the increased restoration will give you a significant boost. I have never seen a skilled invader that doesn't use this advantage. Running this means you will not only reduce the amount of flask that you will need to use to get back to full HP, but also that you will run out of heals way slower. This straightforward yet effective Talisman is truly a no-brainer, and not equipping it is just shooting yourself in the foot. And there you have it, folks. That concludes our ranking for the best Talismans in Elden Ring PvP. I hope this list helps you on your journey to the lands between. Did your favorite Talisman make the list, or do you have a different ranking? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and strategies. Don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to our channel for more. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.